All right, welcome back to RJK English, everyone. We are going to look at Siddhartha by Herman Hesse. So please see the previous if you have not watched that. Please watch it first. We are looking at the first paragraph of the first chapter. We're going to start slow, okay? Siddhartha, or Siddhartha, as we say in English, by Hermann Hesse, or as we say in English, Hermann Hesse. Chapter 1 is the Brahmin son, and we talked about what a Brahmin was last time. It's the highest caste in India. It's the caste of priests. Let's start with the first paragraph. I will read it. In the shade of the house, in the sunshine on the riverbank by the boats, in the shade of the sallow wood and the fig tree, Siddhartha, the handsome Brahmin son, grew up with his friend Govinda. The sun browned his slender shoulders on the riverbank, while bathing at the holy ablutions at the holy sacrifices. Shadows passed across his eyes in the mango grove during play, while his mother sang, during his father's teachings, when with the learned men. Siddhartha had already long taken part in the learned men's conversations, had engaged in debate with Govinda, and had practiced the art of contemplation and meditation with him. Already he knew how to pronounce Om silently, this word of words, to say it inwardly with the intake of the breath. Om. And when breathing out with all his soul. Om. His brow radiating the glow of pure spirit. Already he knew how to recognize Atman within the depth of his being, indestructible and at one with the universe. Okay, so we're introduced to Siddhartha. What do we know about him? Siddhartha is a Brahmin. He seems to be living a nice life. So let's look at this. In the shade of the house, in the sunshine on the riverbanks by the boats, in the shade of the sallow tree and the fig tree, Siddhartha, the handsome Brahmin son, grew up with his friend Govinda. What do we know from this? Siddhartha is a Brahmin. He is handsome. What is handsome? He is good looking. And he grew up with his friend Govinda. So already at his age, he has spent his early life, bachpan. He has spent his early life with his friend Govinda. And if we know what Govinda, this comes from, I believe, an avatar of Vishnu, one of the great gods of Hinduism. Please correct me if anybody knows. So it kind of indicates that Govinda might have a special part in this book. Okay, he does something in the shade of the house. So Hesse is listing out different places that Siddhartha did something. In the shade of the house, meaning, away from the sun. In the sunshine on the riverbanks. In the sunshine, we are in the sunshine when we're outside. On the riverbank, the ghats, the bank of the river, right next to the river, by the boats. So we see how we're using prepositions here. In the sunshine, on the riverbank, by the boats, near the boats. In the shade of the sallow wood. I don't know what sallow wood is. I assume it's a tree. And the fig tree. So I actually don't know if there's figs in India. Someone would have to tell me. I think of them as a Middle Eastern fruit, but someone tell me. So he's in the shade of the trees as well. What does he do? Siddhartha, the handsome Brahmin son, grew up with his friend Govinda. So these are all the places that he maybe played or spent time with his friend Govinda. Now we're going to learn more about him. The sun browned his slender shoulders on the riverbank. What does it mean to brown something? It means to make it brown. The sun shines on his shoulders and makes them brown, right? By the riverbank because he's in the sunshine. while bathing at the holy ablutions. Ablutions mean when you wash for religious purposes. When before you do wadhu for Islam, you do. I'm sorry. Before you do dua, before the azan or during the azan, you do wadhu or wazu ablutions. Before you go to the Shinto shrine or into the temple, you wash first. So he's doing ablutions by the riverbank. And in India, rivers are often holy. The Ganges, which is goes by Varanasi, this is a very holy river. And it actually, the river itself is a goddess. So if you bathe in it, it can make you holy. Okay, so he's doing his ablutions as a Brahmin. As a Brahmin, he has many rituals he has to do, and he has to stay ritually clean. How do you stay ritually clean? You don't touch people that have touched dead bodies. You don't touch dead bodies. All of these rules. Among Jewish people, especially when Jesus was around, I know Judaism more through Jesus. They had many rules not to touch a dead body, things like this, that would make them unclean, or they would have to do something else. Many religions have this. Okay? So he bathed for ablutions, and he was at holy sacrifices. This is kind of a strange sentence. The sun browned his slender shoulders on the riverbank while bathing for holy ablutions and at the sacrifices. It doesn't use the word and. Again, it's literature, so it's a little bit different. Shadows passed across his eyes in the mango grove during play. Why do we care that shadows passed across his eyes? It's just kind of telling you, giving you a picture of how he's living. Shadows passed across his eyes in the mango grove during play, while his mother sang, during his father's teachings, and when with learned men. When he was with learned men. What are learned men? This is an old word. It's a way of saying men who are educated. So what is his life like? He plays. He has time to think. He bathes. He is with his mother who sings. His father teaches. He has a very good life, right? And he's with educated men. So Siddhartha had already long taken part in the learned men's conversations. He had engaged in debate with Govinda and had practiced the art of contemplation and meditation with him. So Siddhartha had actually talked with the educated men. Seems like as equals. Okay, so maybe he's very intelligent. He's engaged in debate. Engaging in debate means to debate someone with Govinda. So Govinda must be smart as well. I'm guessing he's just as smart as Siddhartha or close, and had practiced the art of contemplation and meditation. If you know my earlier videos, meditation is when you sit like a monk and you're clearing your mind. Contemplation is when you think deeply while meditating. You're thinking deeply, but not hard like this. You're thinking deeply. We think of monks doing this. We think of learned men thinking, sitting and thinking, and letting their minds wander. When we go on vacation, we do this. Right? So he is contemplating, and it's an art of contemplation. It's an art of how to sit and meditate. So this is a Brahmin. He's being trained to be a priest. He's being trained to teach people about religion. Already, he knew how to pronounce Om silently. In Hinduism, Om is the sound that the whole universe is based on. The universe is based on a sound, and it is Om. You know this symbol? It is this symbol. Let's see if I can produce it by typing in Hindi. Let's see if it'll do it. No, it won't do it. So it's the symbol that looks like, we will show you. It's the one that looks like a 3. You'll see it on many things. I will draw it here, but I don't know if you can see my picture. Like this. This is the Om symbol, Om. And it looks like in Hindi, or it looks like this Om, With the dot, that's Om. Like when you say Japan, Japan, not Japan. It's the Om symbol. It's the sacred sound that all the universe is based on. So already he knew how to pronounce the Om silently. This word of words, meaning it's the greatest word, the word of words. King of kings, Lord of lords, the greatest, right? He learned to say it inwardly, without speaking, with an inward breath. And then he learned to say it outwardly. Om. So he's being trained to be a priest. When breathing out with all his soul, this word means a lot. Om. His brow radiating the glow of pure spirit. In Hinduism and in many other religions, when someone is enlightened or when they know a lot, their brow is glowing because the brain is here. And even the third eye of Shiva, and I think a lot of Hinduism, the eye is here, this special inward eye. Already he knew how to recognize Atman. Atman means soul. I don't know if this is truly Hinduism, but the Atman, the idea is the Atman is at one. According to the Upanishads, the Atman is at one with all soul, with the universe itself. By looking inside myself, I find God. I find the whole universe. So he learned how to recognize Atman. Day to day, we can't recognize these things, right? We're busy working. So the Brahmins are set aside to take time to recognize Atman. Have you ever recognized this? You'll have to tell me. He recognized Atman in the depth of his being. So again, he's looking inside. The Atman, what is it? It's indestructible. Destroy means to totally destroy something. It's gone. You make it into dust. Indestructible means it cannot be destroyed. And the Atman is indestructible. The body can be burned, but the Atman can't. He is at one with the universe. If the Atman is part of the whole universe, if you know the Atman, you know the whole universe. So we're learning a lot through this, okay? And there's a lot that we're talking about. This is the introduction. As we go through, I will start to show you how to pronounce words, how to pronounce whole phrases in English fluently using this, such as in the shade of the house. Notice I don't say, when we look at this first here, I don't say in the shade of the house, or I don't say in the shade of the house. We have a way in English of emphasizing the content words. Shade is a noun. House is a noun. In the shade of the house. In the shade of the house. And when I'm not emphasizing, I kind of go over things quickly. In the shade of the house. In the shade of the house. In the sunshine on the riverbank by the boats. This is how we talk in English. We'll talk about this more. So again, this is not about believing the religion of this. This is just about learning about this book, learning more, and learning some vocabulary. I'll see you next time. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. And we're going to go through more paragraphs. We'll go as slowly as we need, but hopefully we can start to speed up a little bit. Okay? See you next time.